Let's try this again. Hi there, everyone. Happy New Year. It is Natasha Tomlinson with My Home Group Real Estate. I thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Real Estate Tuesdays, the reboot. You can find this series on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and soon Instagram when I figure it out. Anyway. Today we are going to do a bit of a year in review the real estate market for 2021. Talk about what has happened so far. We're only the fourth day into 2022, but what the numbers are for 2022, and discuss a few new laws that have come into play starting January 1st, 2022. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to call me, 480-203-4364. You may also text me at that number. Feel free to message me on your favorite social media platform, or, you can always try the old-fashioned way of sending a note in the mail or even a pigeon. I get it. I'll get it and respond. Well, without further ado, let's get the party started, shall we? We are not showing the right screen. Gotta love it. It's okay. We will. We're not. Come on. Oh, if you click on the right thing, then you'll get the right thing. Amazing how that works. Voila. What we've heard a lot in 2020 and 2021 was how the real estate market was preparing for a crash, that these prices are unsustainable. We're not going to have people moving here forever. How can prices continue to go up and up and up like this? This is a bubble. This is another bubble. Was the fear and the sentiment that we were hearing from a lot of people looking into purchasing real estate, particularly your first-time home buyers. But what I really want to show you are some numbers today so you can come to your own conclusions. So here we have November 2022 in Fortune magazine, really trying to understand where is the housing market going and looking at some leading indicators, some key leading indicators. And one of them would be just taking a look at where we were before and where we are now, where we're projected to go. And we also don't seem to have any consensus upon all the different regulating bodies as to where prices are going to be moving forward, which is always interesting. As you can see here, we have Zillow and Goldman Sachs predict year over year from October 2021 to October 2022 that we will see an increase of prices of more than 13%. Goldman Sachs predicting 16% increase year over year. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are a little more conservative in their numbers. They're between 7.9% and 7%. Redfin and CoreLogic believe that will be closer to 3 to 1.9% over the next 12 months. But what we really want to find out, okay, what are the factors that contribute to that. So what we want to know are, where will interest rates be? What is affordability? And will we have enough properties to sell? So right now, they are projecting that we will see an increase in interest rates over the next 12 months, because our government, which has been buying bonds and mortgage-backed securities, has said that they will stop doing that after the first quarter of 2022, which could cause interest rates to rise. So that is one potential factor. And then the other factor is our decreasing demand for houses. Right now, there are plenty of people moving to Arizona and a lot of the Sun Belt states. We have people retiring. We see all the different license plates of people who are moving here. We see it on our roadways, the increase in population. But the fact remains that beyond the next few years, our growth rate, our birth rate, has not been as strong in recent years. And that is where this growing fear is coming from, that we may not have enough demand for the supply. We have falling fertility rates and an aging population, and an uptick in multi-generational housing, people who are combining households, parents that are moving in with their children, college age children that are moving in with their parents, people staying together longer, marriages are staying together longer. That these are the things that usually prompt a move, and we're seeing people staying put a little bit longer, and therefore it is causing concern for the industry long term, not in the next few years, not in the next 5 to 10 years, but beyond that. And quite frankly, I feel like it's a little too early to say whether or not whether it's cause for concern or not. We've had some pretty interesting things happen. I mean, we had a pandemic. Who expected that? We had increasing unemployment. No one expected that, and all the factors that went along with the pandemic that we've been experiencing for now almost approaching 24 months. So to say, oh, this is going to happen and that's going to happen, a lot of the conventional things that we're used to just don't apply right now. So we have to keep a close eye on everything when we're trying to give advice to people on housing. And this is one advisor here, Ivy Zellman, and she is echoing that, saying, what you're building all these multi-family houses, you're building these homes, where are these people coming from? You can see that the population has decreased, the rate of growth has decreased. The number of people in the United States has increased year over year of upwards of 1 million, but the rate of population growth has been steadily decreasing over the last few years, and that is causing concern. As you can see here, we have the greatest generation that are approaching or 92 to 100 years old, the silent generation, about 74 to 92, our baby boomers that has been driving our market for the longest time, estimated about 68.7 million people in that generation, and they're still a driving force. Gen X here at 65 million, the millennials that we speak so much about, 8.2, and then the generation after millennials, which would be Gen Z, ages 1 to 21, that are in school, dealing with this pandemic, entering the workforce, dealing with all the changes, technology that are happening in our economy. And are those people as interested in purchasing real estate as previous generations? Are there enough of them that will stay in this area, that would stay in the U.S., that will stay in Arizona in order to keep this booming economy that we have going? Another thing on people's minds is forbearance. We had a lot of talk about this over the past 12 months. A lot of people believing that we're going to have all these people who aren't going to pay their mortgage. Oh my goodness, this is happening again. Well, let's just say it is not. There are not enough people that are in active forbearance, meaning that are behind on their mortgage payments right now, to cause the real estate crash that we saw before. There are just not enough people that are behind on their mortgage, not enough pre-foreclosure activity to see that type of change, to see that type of real estate crash. Now, there has been increases in pre-foreclosure activity since July until now, but those numbers are still extremely low, and we will see that listed here a little bit later. But what I want to drive home is that we would need about a 7,000% increase in the number of pre-foreclosure activity to compare to the numbers we saw in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, and 2012. There are just not enough mortgages in forbearance. All right. Okay. As you can see here, these numbers continue to fluctuate. We can see the first quarter of 2021, 2022, we had the increase. 2023, third quarter and fourth quarter of this year. So there's some notices of defaults. Over since, let's see, 1996, you can see the notices of trustee sales by month for pre-foreclosures since 1996 till December of 2021. We're barely on the map down here. Barely on the map, with 127 notices in November of 2021 and 10,558 notices in 2009. So as you can see, we had a huge ramp up here and a huge decline in the number of pre-foreclosures. And at this point, it is not a matter of concern, and it's below normal numbers. So there's no need for us to talk about it, but it is a topic. It is on people's lips. It's on people's minds. So here we are. When we talk about demand, we look at supply. We look at population. We look at who is going to be purchasing. And so we see that there are a decline in certain areas. The population is declining. We do know that we have a number of people moving to the Sunbelt states. We are one of them. Arizona is here in the green. We have a lot of people coming here from California, from Illinois, Washington State, some from the Northeast, and they're migrating to various different states with more jobs, more flexibility for corporations and for the self-employed, more affordable housing options. We're seeing that as well. What we are seeing, anyone who has tried to move, whether you've tried to purchase a home or tried to rent, we're seeing a housing shortage. And we have seen that for quite some time. When I say a housing shortage, you're like, what does that mean? That means that there are not enough homes available, houses for sale, for the number of people that are looking to purchase real estate. So as you can see here, since 2000, this is what this chart shows. It shows a period of overbuilding and a period of underbuilding. And for the last 10 years, we have been in a period of underbuilding. And as we know, we've had more people move to Arizona in the last, say, 3 years than ever before. And that is putting additional pressure on real estate housing prices. This is illustrated here. You can see those numbers. You can see our population, estimated population, and the number of housing units. We have a bit of a gap here. We're seeing it, we're feeling it. Illustrated again, the number of housing formations, either growing or shrinking. And again, when we talk about a real estate crash, we're talking about supply and demand being out of balance. More supply than demand. And we are the complete opposite of that. We have more demand than supply. As you can see here illustrated, this was a period during 2006, 2007, and 2009, not until, say, 2010, really, did we see a change in supply and demand. So you say, well, what about affordability? I mean, before we were talking about a house at 185,000, and now we're saying this same house is close to 400,000. How can someone afford that? A normal range for affordability here in the Phoenix metropolitan area would fall between 60 and 75, and right now we are around 51. So it is a bit of a concern. But what we do know is that when they factor in this home affordability index, they are looking at W-2 income. I do not believe that self-employment income is included in this index. We also see inflation, and we're seeing it everywhere. We're being affected by it in practically every market, and real estate is no different. You can see the shift in prices shifting upward, and yes, prices have climbed quite a bit, and it because of scarcity, again, because there is more demand than supply. And that is across the board. It is greatly felt in the first-time homebuyer land of under 400,000. And that doesn't really matter if it's a condo, manufactured home, single family residence, whether attached or detached. We have a shortage of supply available, a shortage of homes available. And what they're building is when we see these multifamily properties, they're building apartments. They're not condos, not townhomes. The majority of them are long-term rentals. We also see that it's advantageous for someone to purchase. The long-term appreciation has been increasing over time. So people want to jump into the housing market. The desire is there, just the ability isn't always. Interest rates have also been pretty aggressive for the last few years, although we can expect a bit of an uptick, just like the price of your bananas, oranges, milk, and gas and everything else under the sun has increased. It is believed that interest rates are on the way up as well. So beware of that. If you are considering purchasing or refinancing, you may want to jump on that, because by the second quarter of this year, they are projecting interest rates to be at or above 4%. And you can see what people are concerned about. January 2015, the interest rates were similar. We were at 3.67%, and the average price home being $190,000, which would leave someone's principal and interest payment at about $784. $784 in 2015. And in December of 2021, that same home, even with interest rates where they are today, hovering around 3.12%, that same house payment, principal and interest, would be $1,700. We've also seen a tremendous increase in rent prices, long-term rents, short-term rents. Seen this tremendous increase there as well. The average price home in, goodness, you can see it remained fairly affordable up until, let's say 2014, where we've seen steady increases. Even let's say 2014, the average price home you could rent for $1,195. That same price home is $2,195 a month for rent.